Daniel stuck to his way of eating for over 3 years. But I have a feeling you are ready to end the Daniel fast. So how do you end the Daniel fast? How do you go from eating these amazingly health benefiting foods to back to where you used to be? Well, I pray you don't. But I am going to share with you in this video how to end the Daniel fast and transition back to those foods that you set aside, the meat, the dairy, the bread, perhaps coffee, perhaps sugar. I don't know why you'd go back to sugar, but we'll talk about it in this video on how to end the Daniel fast. I'm Annette Reeder, the Biblical Nutritionist, and I'm on mission to serve you God's recipe for excellent health. Because I know when you have the health that God created you to have, you're going to have an amazing life. You're going to be on mission, and you're going to understand your purpose and passion. I'm just so excited for you. Be sure and hit the like button down below and subscribe to this video channel. And then next to subscribe, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, we'll notify you every time we have a new video that's been posted. And we post videos 2 to 3 times a week. And you do not want to miss this content. I am so glad you're here because congratulations, you finished the Daniel fast, or you're about to. You're probably watching this on day 19 and you're like, okay, how do I get off of this? How do I get that steak burger I've been wanting? All right. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it. So today is about how do we end the Daniel fast. And I'm going to share with you 3 steps to end the Daniel fast without giving up what you've gained. And you have gained amazing health. Your digestive system has totally rebuilt the microbiome. That's where your emotions are factored. That's where your immune system is built. This is the key part of your health, is your digestive system. And the Daniel fast is the perfect diet to refix what's been broken. When my husband and I started the Daniel fast in the very beginning of our health journey, our biblical health journey, I should say, because we've been on lots of health journeys, but this is our biblical health journey, which actually works. We realized that after day 3, he was able to get off his Prevacid. Well, he'd been on that for years, and they said he'd just take it the rest of his life. Well, the side effects were awful, but yet the problems that he needed it for were awful too. By day 3, he had identified what food was the culprit and how to stop the Prevacid, and hasn't been on it since. The Daniel fast heals the gut, and the gut can heal itself within 3 to 5 days. So because you've already experienced that, I don't want you to give up what you've gained. So these are 3 important steps to how to end the Daniel fast. Okay, so we've got different foods. We've got the bread, we've got the meat, we've got the dairy, we have coffee, we have sugar. You're not going back to sugar, are you? Seriously. We'll talk about that. Okay, so first of all, the first step is identify and keep. During the Daniel fast, you should have identified different foods that you realize, wow, when I eat that recipe, I feel really good. When I eat that, the next day I have mental clarity, I have energy, and you may have recognized these foods make me feel good. Now, it may take into week 2 before you actually recognize this, because week 1 is all about changing from being sick to starting to transfer over to being healthy. And so there are some recipes. I want you to keep those recipes in your collection and serve them every week. I love making fresh hummus, and now I'll send you a link to that video down below. I also like the cruciferous veggie scramble. I make that all the time, but I discovered it during the Daniel fast. So identify and keep the foods that you really enjoyed and keep them in your diet forever. These are the most health-promoting foods you can eat. So identify and keep is very important. Number 2, I want you to add in without taking away. What I mean by that is I want you to keep a lot of the foods that you've been eating, but now we're ready to add back in. I know that you fall in one of 2 categories. The first category is, I love these foods so much, I'm not going to change. I'm just going to keep eating this way. And that's about 5% of you. The rest of you have already made plans which pizza place you're going to, which steak burger place you're going to, what buffet you're going to go to. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. When my husband and I, we did a 3-day fast because we were just in a time of changing jobs and just changing a lot of things in our life that we weren't expecting. And so we went on a 3-day fast, and total fast with just water. We borrowed a camper and we went hiking down in the hills in Missouri. And after 3 days, I didn't realize this, but he had already picked out when we were headed to the fast where the buffet was that was closest to us. Well, sure enough, the 3 days ended. He says, let's go. And he headed straight to that buffet. And within about an hour and a half, he ate everything he could have eaten in 3 days. Now I'm asking you, don't do that. Don't do that. I was just in awe. Like, I can't believe you had this already scoped out before we even started the fast. Well, some of you are probably on day 18, day 19. You're like, oh, I can't wait to end this. I want that burger. Okay. First of all, don't interrupt what God's trying to do during those 21 days. But I get it. You're looking forward to a burger. So if you're going to add in, I want you to add in slowly. So you've got the different food groups that we took away, which is your bread, your dairy, and your meat. And some of you stepped away from coffee, and some of you even stepped away from fruit because you wanted to avoid all sweets, and I applaud you for that. So add in one category at a time, and then it's almost like introducing foods into your toddler. One food every 3 days, every 3 to 4 days, see how they react. Because your digestive system has just gone through a huge healing process. And if you go to that buffet, you're going to feel sick, you're going to have mental fatigue, you're just going to have, you're just not going to feel good. You're going to feel awful, and you're going to say, why did I do that? I don't want you to do that. I want you just to add one food. So if you already have picked out a steak burger joint that you already have figured out you're going to go to, then just eat the steak burger, don't eat the bread. Okay, let's wait a couple days before we add in bread. Let's not just do everything at one time. So wait a couple days, add in the bread. So if you're going to eat meat, don't go for a 12-ounce steak. Go for a 4 to 6 ounce piece of meat. I know you're like, but Annette, I know what you used to do, but that's not you anymore, okay? So just add 4 to 6 ounces, and then, you let that be your serving of meat for the next couple weeks. And if you can keep it there, that's perfect. That's a perfect amount of protein for you. So just the meat. So just add in the meat. You can have it once, you got eggs and you got meat. They're kind of in the same category. And so just add one food in. Okay, after 3 to 4 days, add in another food. It could be your bread. Your best breads are Dave's Killer Bread or Ezekiel bread. And then just 1 to 2 slices a day. Don't be running to that restaurant bread. That is going to slow down that process that we've just created to be very fast and moving and healthy. Okay, so slow down on the bread. 1 to 2 slices, Dave's Killer Bread, Ezekiel bread, never restaurant bread. Okay, dairy. Dairy, when you're going to add that back in, the best would be yogurt. An unflavored organic yogurt is best. When you do not ever want to be buying flavored yogurts, you want to add the flavor, you control the ingredients, and you control your health. So adding in yogurt, you could add in some organic sour cream, some cream cheese, some organic butters, organic milks if you are a milk drinker. Never white milk that's not organic. Okay, so that's how we would add dairy back in. And then we come to coffee. You might have realized that breaking that caffeine addiction was hard. Between sugar and caffeine, those are the two things that cause the Daniel fast to be so difficult. And so do you really want to go back to that addiction of needing 3 to 4 cups a day? Or would could you just stop with just one that you just enjoy because of the flavor versus a necessity? Green tea is a great substitute, but then again, we shouldn't need 3 or 4 a day. If you're going to drink coffee, it must be organic. The number of rodenticides and pesticides on the coffee beans is horrific, and it will totally destroy that gut that you've just created to be healthy, that microbiome. We want to keep that in balance. We do not want to take it out of balance. Okay, so those are the foods. Of course, there is sweets. If you're wanting to go back to white sugar, I just pray that you change your mind. There's nothing that you can gain from white sugar except for headaches, water retention, weight gain, mental fog. It's just nothing but detrimental to your health. Instead, find some desserts or some sweet things that are flavored with dates. I've talked about dates before because it's one of the biblical foods in the promised land. You could have honey. There's good honey recipes. You could use stevia. These are all foods that God created for you to enjoy sweets, but yet not be detrimental to your gut and your brain. Okay, so that's the sweets. Trust your farmer, trust the product that you're buying, trust the company. If you don't trust or cannot verify that the company or the farmer that you're buying from these foods is safe for your body, then don't buy it. Your health is the best investment that you can make in your life. And if we don't invest in our health and we don't invest in our food, we're going to pay for it. In fact, this Daniel fast of 21 days is worth about $200,000 in health expenses. You have just saved yourself that much money. So why would you now throw that money away on junk food and processed foods and all of that? All right, so here we go. Identify and keep what you liked, add in without taking away, and the last is don't slow the process. We have created a great process in your digestive system. And I keep hammering this because I really want you to get it. Your digestive system is so important to your health. So I want you to not slow the process. Those are those ooey gooey casseroles and ooey gooey desserts. No, scratch. I mean, we do have a lasagna that we love to eat as a family, but it's once or twice a year. We have some desserts that we like, but that's at Christmas or a birthday. Don't need them the rest of the year. There's some delicious desserts you can make, and I've got a fantastic chocolate cake that I make. It is amazing. It is my favorite food. I'll put that recipe link down below, and you may want to check it out. Okay, let's just wrap this up. My mission is to keep you on mission. Yes, you did the Daniel fast. Congratulations. It's time to end the Daniel fast, and I want you to end it well. All right, I'm Annette Reeder, the Biblical Nutritionist. Be sure and give it a thumbs up if you like this, and comment down below, how did you do on the Daniel fast, and how did you end it? How are you feeling? What did God teach you? I can't wait to read your comments. I'm Annette Reeder, the Biblical Nutritionist, and until next time.